She said personally that she has to earn every vote. Part of earning a vote is meeting the demands of the voters.
Absolutely.
And to that point, we are sitting here now with the first Black woman international president for SEIU, and Services Employee International Union. We are so grateful for your partnership. First, April. I remember April from Cali, from meeting her when you were running things in California, and you have demonstrated what it means to hold on a bipartisan level administrations accountable. And I think just recently you're celebrating a really major win with Kamala Harris's announcement to support in-home healthcare workers. So please talk about that and all the things. And thank you for joining us and for being a partner.
People in the house.
So first I got to say, what up, though?
What up, though?
And really, it is an honor to be here. It's been far too long since we got to hang out. But I'm proud to be here in Detroit and talking about what we are going to do for care workers across this country. That I would be remiss if I don't remind us who care workers are. They are overwhelmingly women, people of color, immigrants, and it's the work that enslaved women did. Right? It's the work that our great-grandmothers and grandmothers and mothers did. Domestic work, taking care of people who cannot take care of themselves, our elders and our children. And it's been poverty work, right? It's been work that has been dismissed and disrespected and demeaned. And because of what we heard Vice President Harris say just last week, right? Creating a Medicare program for the first time that invests in home care, we are taking this work out of the shadows. We are going to make this family sustaining work, and we are going to begin to undo the wounds, the immortal wounds of this country that has dismissed us and our work for far too long.
I love it. Well, I've got my experience with the Purple folks in Florida.
Yeah, you do.
SEIU has had my back
from
all
my
the
brother
way.
Brandon Davis.
Yes, there's Brandon, Monica Russo,
Roxy Nelson,
Roxy,
Alfonso.
the whole crew. All of that was my staff from the campaign.
Exactly. I know.
So I love the strategic organizing that SEIU does. You don't just put an idea out there. In fact, before your ideas are out there, y'all have already workshopped the way in which you plan to get it done.
That's right.
So I love having SEIU on the side of at least the issues and the policies that I care about, because I know that means you guys are working to the finish is achieved. I'm curious to know, as you all have, as a union, international union, what kind of some of the unions have struggled, and we've been less privy to some of the internal conversations around the debate of Harris, nobody, or the other guy. I'm curious, has SEIU had similar internal debates around where y'all would land?
Well, I will tell you, we convened our board at about 6 o'clock Eastern on the night that Vice President Harris announced her candidacy, the day that President Biden said he was stepping down, and it was a no-brainer. I convened my board of 65 people, and in less than 30 minutes, we had unanimously decided that we were going to endorse our vice president.
People, that's history too. You got a decision out of 65 people.
Let me walk that back. It was 2 abstentions.
It was
2 abstentions.
We just talked about that. That's a vote too.
It is a vote too.
Wow.
But it was a no-brainer for the leaders in my union who have known Vice President Harris from her time as a district attorney in San Francisco. We represent 700,000 people in California, so we know her well. We know that she has walked a day in the shoes of a caregiver in Oakland, California, of a security officer right here in Detroit, Michigan. She walked picket lines with striking fast food workers in South Carolina. She knows who we are. We know who she is. We know whose she is. And so we didn't have a lot of beef, right? We were able to come together, and it was just like, come on, y'all. It is really clear what's at stake in this election, and it's clear who's going to deliver a future for working
So as y'all
people.
translate what y'all's experiences have been with her, which are clearly vast, to the voter out there who is either undecided or not motivated yet to go vote, what are you saying?
I am telling folks all over this country, Kamala Harris's name is at the top of the ticket. But this election is about you. This election is about us. This election is about electing people in this country who give us a chance to fight for themselves. I'm a union organizer. I'm a union president. I'm a power builder. But it is up to us to build power, to take our own agency and do something for ourselves. And there is one person in this race who wants to build an inclusive, multiracial, multicultural, multi-generational democracy. and there's one who wants to usher in a new era of fascism.
That's right.
It's real simple.
I think I did a very brief stint in labor, and quite honestly, I didn't understand the significant role that labor plays in politics, and I would imagine a lot of people across the country don't quite understand that. I think what we do understand is the challenging issues around caretakers. I love that you made the point, this is the work that black women have done during enslavement. I think that's so true. Care in this country is in crisis.
It is.
As someone who's had to be a caretaker for ill relatives, who had to pay for caretakers for relatives, I'm curious, what is it in Vice President Harris's plan that speaks to people who are facing that very issue right now?
Yeah, but again, throughout her career in the Senate, she was a chief sponsor of the Domestic Worker Bill of Rights. So this isn't a new issue to her. She didn't just come up with the idea of investing in a Medicare program.
Right.
It's who she's always been as a leader. And you're right, the country is in crisis. 10,000 seniors turn 65 every single day in this country. And if we don't want to pay people to take care of them, who's going to do it? And we shouldn't be told, oh, well, it's your responsibility as a mother or a niece or a grandparent or a daughter, right? Because it falls on the women.
Yes.
Right?
And
It falls on
sometimes
the
you're taking
women.
care of parents and children.
You're taking care
at
of
the same
parents
time.
and children. And
Yeah.
it's not just the elder care crisis, it's a child care crisis.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
For most families, the cost
Talk
of
about
child
it.
care is the second largest expense
Yeah.
in your
More than my
household,
mortgage.
more than your mortgage.
Yeah.
More than my mortgage.
Right?
Yeah.
So let's talk about it. The only industrialized country in the world that does not have a care infrastructure that we can rely
That's
on.
clean,
Thank
I
you,
promise.
sis. Thank
I
you.
ain't get you. So speaking of it falls on women, we're going to make sure it don't fall on women today. We got two young men who are going to join April right now. We have our good brother, Lieutenant Governor Garland Gilchrist,
All
joining
right,
the set.
LG.
And we also have, I don't see him, there he is. He is sitting down. He got a brace on. Our good brother and friend, a co-founder of Black Voters Matter. He ain't bring me no sweatsuit. It says we fight back. But Cliff Albright is also joining us right now. Give Cliff a hand too. Y'all don't be shady because he ain't from Detroit. He can say what up though when he put the mics on. He put the headphones on.
Governor. Hi, Cliff.
What's up, LG?
We should tell people why Cliff is limping a little bit. He got smart with his wife a few weeks ago. And so let's
Don't
just
be
be
lying
a
on
cautionary.
April.
A
Don't be
cautionary
lying on
tale
April.
for
The
you
other
husbands
April.
out
Yes,
there.
the other April at that. Don't lie on no Aprils
I was
today.
skydiving to the mountain to climb the mountain to go register some folks. That's what
You should have just taken the
That's actually
escalator.
more
I like that story.
You should have taken the escalator.
What up, though, Mr. Lieutenant
What up,
Governor?
though?
We happy to
Welcome.
have
What's
you
up?
back with us, hosting us in this wonderful
Look,
city.
Welcome back here to the city of Detroit. We are so proud that this is part of our native land.
Yes.
I am also always honored to be sitting here with my sister April. SEIU in Detroit and across Michigan is one of the most powerful forces for working people. They just won a tremendous victory that was signed into law by Governor Gretchen Whitmer, that I personally lobbied for in our Democratic majority legislature, to put forth an opportunity for home care workers in the state of Michigan to organize, to be respected and protected in a new generational way. And it speaks to that democratic governance is worth voting for, because we can create the conditions for health and wealth for a new generation. And April's leadership and SEIU leadership really made that happen. I'm just proud to be a part of the team.
That's right.
I
And it's
love it.
important to remember, that's why we give a lot of attention and energy, as we should, to the race for president. But we got to make sure we keep a working people's majority in the House of Representatives, the state house here in Michigan, like in the state Senate here in Michigan. We got to protect, right, those in our state and local governments as well.
That's right.
Absolutely.
I love
Cliff,
it.
we so happy to see you.
I'm so happy
So
to be on the pod.
are you on the blackest bus in America?
Yes, in fact, the blackest bus in America was just down the block.
Oh, I see y'all over
Bring
there.
it over here. We would have panned to
The road is blocked off. I don't even know how they would get over here. But
Oh, they
y'all,
can't pull in right there?
I don't know.
We'll figure parking
Cliff,
out, but
Cliff, go get it.
And we,
Go
were,
get the bus, Cliff.
and we were just giving out some shirts and stuff. We were on the mic just giving.
Did you give out a
We got
sweatsuit?
a couple of shirts out here.
I want a
What did I see?
She
sweatsuit.
keep coming back to the sweatshirt.
Yes, I
Get her a
like it.
sweatsuit.
Hey, Cliff.
What's up, man?
Can I?
Go
I
ahead.
wanna
Yeah,
ask
you
quick.
got it.
Everybody else got us some. I mean, what you doing, Cliff? I mean, what you doing, Cliff?
I got you. I got a whole box for you.
So I just have a question for you. one thing that we've talked about, we referenced a lot on this podcast, the work of Black Voters Matter.
Yeah.
And during the hurricanes that impacted a lot of the southern region of the United States, I was talking about how you and our dear sister, our good friend Latasha Brown, who is the Maya Angelou to our Oprah. Like, she is our deity in our lives on some level. But she talked about you guys going into these areas and not only registering people to vote, or not even focused on registering people to vote, but delivering them generators.
That's right.
Tell us why you all did that.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, when we say Black Voters Matter, we mean that, right? We were intentional when we said Black Voters Matter, not Black Votes Matter, because there's a lot of people that care about Black votes that don't give a damn about Black
How
votes.
about that? Say it for the people in the back.
So that's
we
why
have some people in the back.
Right, we got people. But, you know, Latasha and I and April, my wife April, we've been doing disaster relief ever since Katrina. That's the first time we got a big old bus. It wasn't black. It was actually purple. And we started driving it.
That was for you, April.
That's right. That's right. And so, you know, and so that really started our intentionality around not just talking about power building in the sense of elections, but recognizing that it was small churches and neighborhood associations when nobody else was around, when no National Guard was around. That's who was feeding our folks. So we've been doing some level of disaster resistance. And as y'all know, and I know as Andrew knows, a lot of these storms happen right in the middle of the vote. You know, right, either by the registration deadline or the early vote period. And a lot of times what we have to do, in addition to providing the relief to our communities, is we have to fight those election battles to get governors and to get hours expanded, to expand the registration deadline and all that. And so we got to be able to walk and chew gum at the same time, because I can't go knocking on somebody's door talking about come vote when they got a tree on their house, you know, or they don't have power, right? So we got to deal with our real lives issues, with our everyday issues and our emergency issues before we can continue to talk about the voting issue.
I love
Cliff,
that.
y'all have also been talking to black voters, black men voters particularly, long before it became popular a week ago. And I'm curious,
not a week ago.
I've seen more black men on television talking about black men.
That's because it's for their entertainment. I might have had that
non-black, right? Some non-black men talking about black men.
I know. Who asked y'all? Nobody asked y'all. Anyway, I'm sorry. You were asking a question. I got mad.
No, I just want to know, one, how has this resonated with you all as an organization, and the folks who are your members and the folks you serve? Does it feel real and authentic? Does it feel a little overblown? Does it reflect the reality you see and experience on the street?
Right. No, it does not feel real. It feels overblown. It feels like hyperbole. You know, I said last year, I was on some show and I said, look, people acting like the sky is falling. The sky is not falling. It might be drizzling. Right, there might be a real issue that you got to pay attention to, right? But the sky is not falling. There's not some big, massive shift that's taking place. In fact, the bigger shift that we saw take place isn't the shift happening now from between Biden and Kamala, or even from Hillary from that year. The biggest shift what we saw with black men was when?
During Obama.
During the Obama years. It was from 2008 to 2012, right? That wasn't about sexism. That was about brothers feeling like some of our issues, right or wrong, some brothers felt like many of our issues were not being dealt with at that time. They still feel the same way. So it's overblown. Are there some real issues of sexism is real, misogyny is real, patriarchy is real, and there's some of that group of that 10% that we know is going to vote for the orange menace, right? They always do that, right? They've been doing that ever since George Bush was talking about, what was it, the faith-based initiatives and giving out them grants, right? They always exist. But you got this other batch that have some real questions, that really did want to hear more discussion around black men, that wanted to be talked to, you know, where we are. And for many of them, the agenda that she put out, which I think is an excellent agenda, it actually deals with a lot of the issues that we hear when we're in the streets, right? That agenda is going to answer some of those questions for some of those brothers who will now be like, you know what, I didn't know that. I'm glad to see that. Some of them might still be like, that ain't enough, it's too late, you know, I still don't like you, I don't like your laugh. And guess what? They wasn't gonna, no matter what agenda she put out, it wasn't gonna be enough. But our job is to inform the ones that right now are not getting enough information, because disinformation only thrives in a vacuum. As long as we're having these conversations and giving folks accurate information, then the disinformation can't have as much impact.
For some of the, it looks like he has something to say on it.
I was just saying,
black man.
And then we need to go to April because she's leaving us. She don't feel well, so I want to make sure I know April. We're gonna get to you, but Garland, you want to come to you first.
The amount of people who have been just like climbing over other people to be able to take punches at black men on television.
Oh, come on.
Ooh, Lord.
It's disheartening.
Come on.
And I think the irony of that is, are these the people who then you would trust to have the best interests of black men? Anyone who would be so eager and aggressive to attack women, we wouldn't say was supportive of women. Anyone who would be so eager and aggressive to attack working people, we wouldn't say was someone we would trust to protect working people. And so I think the better conversation is, what is the opportunity that we have to be part of this future?
Yeah.
And so that means, yes, laying forward an agenda that is inclusive and responsive to the priorities of people who want health and wealth and opportunity. But it also means that we have to have a real conversation about how people can be invited to do so in the right way. And I just have never, look, this ain't true with my parents, this ain't true with voters. I mean, my kids or my voters. They're like, by admonishing someone is not how you get them to do something. If like getting mad at people was effective, we would be in a much different place.
Right.
I want to ask you, April, because I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe SEIU is also the blackest and brownest labor union in the country. Is that right?
We are 60% women and overwhelmingly people of color.
So when you hear some of the things that we're talking about, I think I got mad. We were on CNN earlier today, and I went off. I was like, why y'all don't talk to these white people? They the ones trying to cost the election. So when you hear some of these things, what are some of the union responses? For those at home who are dues-paying labor union members, what are the things that you would say to them? Because I know it ain't SEIU members because you get them together. But for everybody else, what would you say to them about the importance of this election and voting their interests?
Yeah. So first of all, y'all gonna stop beating up on my brothers, right?
Not us.
No, not y'all.
Them.
But y'all. Them.
Yeah, y'all.
Right? They not like us. They know who they are.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna stand up for my brothers. And like you said, you know, how often do white men vote against their own interests?
Correct.
And how often do white women vote against their own interests?
Or
So-
vote in their interest, if we're honest about what their interest is.
That part. So we're not going to try to set this up to blame what I don't think will happen.
Yeah.
But we're not going to blame this on black men.
Right.
Like, cut it out.
Yeah.
But to your question, Angela, we know that it's going to be working people that make the difference in this election. I am really proud, and I'm going to brag a second on the $200 million investment that SEIU is making in this cycle. We have a goal to reach 6 million voters. We've achieved that. And we're going to knock 1 million more doors between now and Election Day. And we're doing that because this election is about us. And that's what we're saying in this election. This is about us. This is about our hopes. This is about our dreams. This is about enough power, enough agency to be able to do the big stuff.
Yeah.
Like dismantle systemic and structural racism. Like end poverty for once and for all. Like fix a broken immigration system to heal our climate, which causes the natural disasters. Right? Enough power with real champions to do the big stuff.
Yeah.
And it's clear, you got a despot, right? A fascist in this race who only cares about himself. And so, like, let's have a real conversation about what's at stake here and who's the best people that's going to help move us and our community forward.
That's real. Love it.
Well, April, we know that you got to go. You got a million more doors to knock on, and we need you well to do that. So I'm empathizing because they know they left me for dinner last night because I had a headache. I was like, bye, I can't move. Yeah. So thank you so much for your work,
But I couldn't be in the D and not come by and say what's up. I really appreciate the way you all use your platform to tell the truth and to use it to be powerful for our folks. So thank you. I
want to give a shout out to Denise Horn too, who made sure that you came on here and was like, and what we gonna do to get her on Breakfast Club? So I'm glad everything worked out because that's up next. No, she's already got it.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
And
very
thank you,
good.
April, for being a partner.
Y'all give April a hand. She fighting for working people every day, all day.
April,
Madam
thank
President.
you for being a partner to Nativeland.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much.